Hello everyone, it's Kristen here at Joyfully Thriving, and I am back to talk to you about my February freezer challenge. I know it's the middle of March already by the time you're seeing this, but things went well in February and we just kind of were on a roll, so I decided to keep going. I actually ended up saving about $150 on my grocery budget, so that was amazing. If you want to check out the entire video of every single shopping trip from February, I'll leave a link in the description so you can check that out. So what I really did going in was I had shown you all my freezers, and if you want to take a look at how full those were, I'll leave the original freezer clean out challenge in the description as well. But my goal really was just to kind of work through our freezers. We had a lot of things in there. It wasn't really organized. We still have quite a bit left in there, but I feel pleased with what we did, and I hope when I show you them that you will see the difference too and a little bit of progress. So I tried to do some videos and pictures of the food we are eating, but turns out, as much as I love baking and things, with feeding 4 kids and our family of 6, I just couldn't consistently make that happen. So what I do have for you, and I'll show you first, is I'm going to show you our menu of everything we ate in February, just so you can see a list of that and what I was feeding our family. And then I will show you a list of what our freezers look like now. Well, I'll go inside and give you a tour, but then I will show you a list of my freezer inventory so you can see everything that's left. I did that as I was getting things organized again at the end of this month, and I'm pleased with what we've eaten through. We still have plenty of things in there. I could keep going, but for now we're just gonna keep working through what we have. What I have learned is I am not always that great at following my menu plan. I know some of you really want me to show the meals that we are eating that week when I do my grocery hauls, but we do a lot of flip-flopping. My husband is a teacher, a junior high teacher, and coaches basketball. So during February, he was gone a lot of weekends for tournaments and different basketball things. So the kids and I would eat simpler meals. We'd eat pasta or leftovers or just easy things when it was just us. And then if he suddenly had a late night meeting, I'd flip things around. But that is why I love having a stocked freezer, because I know what I have in there and I can easily pull things out based on our favorites and just quickly make dinner for that night. I don't have to do too much work for it. So, all right, let's get started. Let me show you what we ate in February, and then I'll show you how our freezers are looking right now. All right, here's our February menu of everything we ate. I'll just go through it and kind of talk you through the highlights quick so you can see what our family of 6 eats in a typical month. I should also note that I cooked 3 different meals this month for Nathan's teacher and then 2 moms from church and school who had babies. It was poppy seed chicken for all of them. I did that meal with some, let's see, what did I do? Different pies, a Toll House pie and peanut butter pie, and some different desserts and breads. So having a freezer allows me to do that very easily, and I like doing that. All right, so beginning of the month, we had started with some Nelson's chicken. It's a rotisserie chicken, baked potatoes. Left overnight, I try to work that in regularly. We host teachers from Andy's school about once a month, and so I just do assorted appetizers and desserts and fill our counter, and whoever can comes, and we have a nice time doing that. Saturday was hamburgers and fries, spaghetti right there, pork tenderloin. Those are the Aldi pork tenderloins I was trying to use with Parmesan potatoes. None of us were feeling great that day, so we had homemade bread and applesauce. It was super simple. Cheesy chicken right there with it's a chicken breast with cream cheese and cheddar cheese on top. Very good. Barbecue meatballs, which were already made from the freezer, baked potatoes and veggies. I made quesadillas for myself and my husband, and the kids just had some plain tacos. Date night, we went out that night, so the kids had nachos with grandma. We had a Super Bowl, so we had friends over really just to visit, not really to watch the game. So I cooked assorted appetizers, including pigs in the blanket and a chocolate chip cookie dough dip. So good. We all love that one. Enchilada casseroles, one of my kids' favorites, plus cornbread. Hamburgers here on Valentine's Day and potato wedges. I had done some heart cheese melted and very simple things, but hamburgers, another leftover night. Always try to work that in at least once a week, generally. Poppy seed chicken, I was cooking it for one of the teachers there, so I made it for our family as well. Another leftover night. Nachos, generally once on the weekends. My kids love that. It's super easy, so we'll do that. Pasta again. homemade chicken nuggets. I had some chicken already diced up, and then I kind of coat them in panko breadcrumbs and bake them in the oven. Fries, sloppy joes, and baked potatoes. I told you we go through a lot of sour cream. My girls especially love baked potatoes, so we generally eat them once a week. Easy side, and everyone's happy with them. Tacos is another standby. Cheesy chicken again. We had company staying with us for a couple days here, so I had made that, peanut butter pie, and homemade pizza. Nachos. It was state tournament weekend, so I had cooked a bunch of desserts for the basketball tournament for coaches and hospitality that weekend. Pasta, and then we were at games. Barbecue meatballs and baked potatoes again, finishing, I still have a couple left, and some zucchini, pork loin, and all those breadcrumbs I had showed you that I saved from Uncrustables. I made a big batch of stuffing there and asparagus. And then finally, on the first day of March, we finished off that fish that was in the freezer and a little bit of the Brussels sprouts. Still have to make a dent on that. So that was our menu. You can see there's repeats that come up. You can see our standbys that we like. You can see leftovers are in there regularly. Then I just kind of always put a fruit and a veggie with most things, just whatever's in the freezer or pantry, or fresh that I grabbed. So simple meals for the 6 of us, but that's what works for our family. All right, ready to see after eating all that what's in our freezers? Let's go take a look. Okay, I'm going to start with our kitchen freezer here, and hopefully you will see a difference. If you remember watching that first video, it is definitely more organized now. So I'm loving how it feels with the space here. So I'll just kind of talk you through it. Here's the flax, which if you missed that, I love to do this. I keep ground flax for my egg substitute. 1 tablespoon of ground flax plus 3 tablespoons of water equals 1 egg. Works great in baked goods. Highly recommend it. So I just always keep that in the freezer. And then I had mentioned I save peanut butter jar lids and mayo jars for my canning jars when I freeze things in them. They work perfectly. That's some chili left over there and some frozen avocados, orange juice. My son wants cheesecake for his birthday, so these are some frozen Oreos I'll use up soon. And then we do still have Brussels sprouts left, but they're right there with our veggies. I ate up all the diced peppers this month that were frozen, so I feel good about that. I have a little bit of pepper strips, and these are bags of diced onions, just small bits for when I need them quickly to cook. So that's kind of veggies. But on the top here, you'll see that's broccoli for my daughter's birthday. We just have a little bit of ice cream. I put these chicken strips I gotten on clearance for my husband to eat. I do have a little bit more breadcrumbs now from the last batch of Uncrustables I made there. A little bit of pork tenderloin and those 99-cent meals I'd gotten. So it's just that little bit here. And then talk over the freezer here. But this really is, in the back there are some bags of fries that we are halfway through. We don't always go through a full bag when we eat them. So then these are kind of all my baked things that I freeze for us to grab. Pancakes here. I do cookies when I bake for the kids. I don't know if you can see this here. So I wrap them in 2 or 3. For my kids who pack lunches this time, I did 3 in there. My 3rd grader, I'll take 2 cookies. My 1st grader takes 1. And then I wrap them in saran wrap so I can just grab them frozen. These are whatever cookies, chocolate, peanut butter, and Monster. And then I just unwrap them, put them right in their lunches, and they have cookies for lunch. So I love to do that. That's a super handy trick. These are some blueberry muffins. I froze those in 2s for quick breakfasts, a low sugar option with some of our blueberries. Very delicious. I'll leave that recipe below. Homemade bread. Whatever we don't use in the first couple days, I go ahead and slice and just keep in the freezer for toast in the morning, or if we need those for sandwiches. And then we just had our fish fry at school, and we had bought and brought home some extra pork tenderloin. So I have that right there too, which we'll eat. So that is how our kitchen freezer looks above our fridge. I feel good about that. It's much more organized. And let me walk you over now and show you how the back of our freezer looks, our upright freezer. All right, and this is our extra upright freezer that's in our laundry room right over by our washer and dryer. I hope if you had watched that video, you see a little bit of difference from the first video. Maybe not. Still looks plenty full. Like I said, we could keep going, but I'm just going to kind of try to keep working through things. So let me kind of give you highlights. I'll tell you exact counts in a minute. That's all the remaining butter I have left right here in 2 stacks. These are blueberries packaged in 2 cups there. Some tortillas, they freeze great. These were some extra sausage cheese biscuits I made for the other day, so I have those in there. Apple pie kits, which I freeze apples diced, and then there's crumb topping and there's crust right there. You can do it as a pie, or sometimes I just do the apples and crumb topping lately as a crisp, and the kids really like that. So I have that there. I have some other breads and buns frozen back in there. Meatballs. This is the diced chicken for poppy seed chicken. I tend to cut it up in 4 cups. So I have a couple bags of that. Some raw chicken. One last bag of cooked hamburger. I'm actually going to do 10 pounds for our school for Lenten dinners coming up for tacos. So I already moved that out to our other freezer in the garage just so I remember. So you're not seeing that since that'll be used. Then there's some raw hamburger in the back. There. We have one little thing of bacon, and then most of these are hamburgers. I freeze them in 6 or 7 in a thing with wax paper in between. I make them in patties. So when we're ready for hamburgers, I just have to pull them out and thaw. Super simple. So this is another bag of hamburgers here. Some more raw hamburger there. Pork loin. These were pork chops. And then those foil packages are, I just buttered some French bread and sliced it so it's in there for when you need it. So that's kind of our meat. Our meat shelves are a lot emptier, which I'm glad for. I actually have a lot less chicken than I thought. I'll talk you through all that in the inventory. Let's just finish looking here. So a couple frozen pizzas. I finally restocked us on that just for quick meals. My husband's the only one who likes pecan pie, so he needs to eat that at some point. One bag of French fries and a pork loin. And then the doors are just kind of that easy, grab a lot of veggies here. I have a little bit of meat from the last time I did every plate for hamburgers, and I have those buns frozen over there on top of the pizzas. These are more vegetables, broccoli, a lot of 3 peppers I like for quesadillas. There's a couple bags of fries. Up here we have some corn and my last 2 bags of blueberries from Aldi, so I need to use those up too. 1 thing of yeast and then some frozen concentrate. So it's great to have an extra freezer. I love it because I have all these things in here prepped and ready to go. I'll show you exactly how I do package all of that. I'll show you the portions I use on the inventory. So that's what my freezers look like right now. Let me go on over and let me show you the official inventory so you can see exactly what I do have in this freezer. All right, this is my freezer inventory. Nothing fancy. I just write it down as I'm counting. Occasionally, I try to do this every couple months. I've tried to use a list and post it on the fridge and freezer, but I just have trouble keeping track of it. So I rewrote this for you so you can see what I have. I'll talk you through it and how I package things. So ground beef, I have cooked in 1 pound bags. I have 12 of those. I have ground beef raw, and I package those in about now between 1 and 1.5 pounds of raw ground beef. And actually, I was surprised. I have 33 of those. I have no idea how I accumulated that much. I thought most of it was in patties or cooked. So I'm definitely going to be trying to use up more of that before Memorial Day in the next couple weeks or months, because that's when we'll see the next ground beef sale likely. So I do want to work through that. Chicken, raw chicken in about 1.5 pound bags. That's what I do in a package. I only have 3 of those. And cooked chicken, diced about 4 cups. I have 3 of those left, and that's really for poppy seed chicken. So I could stand to start getting more chicken back in the freezer soon. Pork loin, I have one big pork butt I need to cook up soon. Probably pork chops. I have 3 packages of bone in, and they're really big. So I think I have 2 in each because my kids don't eat a ton of those, and they're huge pork chops. Boneless, I package those 4. They're from Sam's. They're really good pork chops. We like those on our grill, and I just have 1 package of those. I have 8 different packages of hamburger patties. So when I say 8, that means like 8 different meals of hamburger patties right there. 2 bags of meatballs. I put about 30 meatballs in a bag when I make them. 1 package of bacon, 1 of brats, 2 of hot dogs, 10 frozen pizzas, thanks to that recent Sam's deal. 2 cups of blueberries. I actually have 17. Again, I had seen some really good deals, so I'd stocked up, plus those Aldi bags. So we eat them frozen a lot. We will bake with them, but we'll just keep working through those slowly. 5 bags of fries and 3 of hash browns. I have 24 pounds of butter, which means, and since Thanksgiving, when I was really stocking up, I've gone through already about half the stash of butter. So It's okay. I still have several pounds in my fridge, but that's how much is in the freezer. Hopefully with Easter, we'll start seeing good sales coming on butter. I have 11 different apple pie kits and frozen concentrate. Let's see, 2 limeade, which I use for recipes, 4 OJ and 4 raspberry lemonade. And then vegetables, just assorted. So I have 4 mixed peppers, 3 corn, 1 mixed veggies, 3 Brussels sprouts, 1 broccoli, and 1 beans is what we have. All right, so now you've seen what it looks like. There's the official tally. Let's flip around and talk about what I learned and my takeaways from this freezer challenge. Okay, I'm trying to catch in between the kitchen window and the pantry window, and you see dishes in the background. Real life here. This is what it is. You've seen my freezers back at the beginning of the month. You've seen them at the end. Did you see a difference? I hope so. I feel like there's a difference. It's really good for me to do this at least once a year or twice a year, depending, just to work through what's there so that things that I am buying new aren't getting used first. Like I'm really rotating through my freezer things. It's harder in a freezer because it can get a little disorganized. I know some of you had commented that you have baskets, and I would really love to find that. Right now, I use a lot of 2-gallon bags, so I package things in the smaller bags, and then I try to keep like items in a really big bag together, and it works. And then again, I try to devote that one shelf is all meat in my back freezer, that I have another shelf that's almost all meat too, and I just try to keep things grouped. The nice thing about having my freezer is that I do really try to prep through the meats. So like cooked meat, that cooked ground beef is always for tacos or hamburgers, or excuse me, tacos or sloppy joes if I'm doing things quick. Hamburgers, I don't have to mess with thawing meat and making patties. They're already in patties. I just thaw them, cook them, they're ready to go. With the raw ground beef, then I will cook that for enchilada casserole, or some things that just takes better using it fresh, or like I can use that for a meatloaf. We haven't had that in a while, so I probably will use that. Having it cooked in the 1-pound bags just makes dinner time so much faster if I have some of those meats prepped and ready. So I do try to do that. But like you said, I have a lot of that raw ground beef that I need to keep working on using in the next couple months. But if you have an assortment of all those meats in your freezer, this is why my grocery hauls look so eclectic, and this is why you don't see me buy meat very often. As you saw from our menus, we're eating meat almost every night. Like we do eat meat regularly in our family, but I just simply stock up when there's a sale and I fill my freezer then. And because I have an assortment, we're not tied to one thing. I can really rotate through what we're feeling or we're in the mood for. If the kids or my husband has a request that week, then I try to squeeze it in. So that's a great thing about having an extra freezer, and one of my favorite things. So gonna keep working through everything that we have. I am so thankful for my freezer. If you do not have an extra freezer, I would highly recommend saving up for one. I really do think it's one of the best money-saving tools you can have in your kitchen, because it really allows you to stock up when you find a good sale. And for meat, especially as we watch prices keep going up, so I'm seeing some prices come down. Like I said, I look ahead towards Memorial Day. Memorial Day and Labor Day are when you see really good sales on ground beef and your hot dogs and brats and those type of things. So I'm already thinking ahead towards that, which means I have a couple months to kind of work through what we have before I restock up on things. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for you, seeing what was in my freezers, and it was encouraging and motivating. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more updates like that. I really appreciate you all, and thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next video.